Welcome to the Get Fit Guys, quick and dirty tips to get moving and shape up. My name is Brock Armstrong, and I'm the Get Fit Guy. When I woke up this morning, I was raring to go, so I made a cup of coffee while I did my morning get moving routine and then headed out for a walk. I got my blood pumping, I cleared my head, and I set my intentions for the day to be one that is movement-filled. Now, in this podcast episode, I'm examining the ways that I have found that virtual reality games can get the body moving. So, although I do not really see a time when I would wake up and immediately strap on a set of VR goggles, many people, including me, find that the opportunities to move the body, well, they drop off drastically in the evening hours, which is the perfect time to strap on the headset and play some games. But first, before we get any further, what is virtual reality gaming? Well, without getting too geeky, VR is the term used to describe a generation of computer simulation with technology that gives players a truly immersive first-person perspective. Virtual reality gaming is where a person can experience being in a three-dimensional environment and interact with that environment to solve puzzles, complete tasks, or explore. Generally, the gear required to enter a VR world is a headset, which are like very large goggles, and two hand controllers, usually with multiple joysticks and buttons on them. Once you're wearing the headset, the real world is all but blocked out, and you're virtually immersed in a virtual world. With the help of the hand controllers, you can move around, use tools, and turn in 360 degrees. And you know what? I have to admit that before I received the headset from Oculus, which is a brand of Facebook Technologies, LLC, I kind of assumed that VR games were gimmicky and probably pretty darn cheesy, to be honest, but I was dead wrong. After a few weeks of playing, I am still blown away by how cool and immersive gaming can be using the Oculus Quest 2 that Facebook gave me. Now, yes, gaming and gamers in general have gotten a pretty bad reputation for being snack food eating, energy drink swilling nerds who live in their mom's basement far beyond an acceptable age. And while that is not all that accurate, I mean, check out the top gamers in Korea and you'll see some stylish, slick, and well-to-do youngsters. It is easy to see why that stereotype sticks around. And sitting on your butt in front of a monitor for hours on end, well, it isn't exactly the way to achieve any sort of health or wellness prize. Now, that is where VR flips the gaming world on its head. First of all, for the majority of the games, you are best off standing while playing them, so there's a win right there. As I've mentioned before, I've even swapped my traditional desk for a standing or dynamic workstation years ago to help me have a less sedentary work life. Now, second, I have yet to witness anyone who can stay calm and still while playing in the virtual world. And limbs fly, heads duck and weave, squats and lunges happen, and an inevitable sweat is broken. Let me explain using arguably the most popular and well-known of the VR games, Beat Saber, a game that's so popular that Jimmy Fallon actually had Brie Larson play it on his late-night TV show. Now, in this game, three-dimensional cubes fly towards you in various combinations, speeds, locations, and orientations, and you must slice them in half with your two lightsabers. There are markers on the cubes telling you which way to slice them, and occasionally there are walls or obstacles that you must dodge and weave. All the while, peppy music is playing, providing the beat that you must slice in time with. Now, watching someone play this game is not pretty, but I will embed a video of me playing the game in the transcript for this episode over at getfitguy.quickanddirtytips.com, and you can see how much of the body actually gets involved. It is a truly frantic and somewhat violent full-body dance. And even the games that are less panic-inducing still encourage you to move your body in ways that you may not on a regular basis. Now, this brings me to the benefits on hand-eye coordination and reaction time aspects of the virtual world. There is actual scientific evidence that mobile game-based VR programs effectively promote upper extremity recovery in patients with strokes. And the studies have also shown that VR can also be used to enhance the effects of conventional rehabilitation therapies, and other studies have found that VR and physiotherapy may have similar effects on gait, balance, and quality of life for people with Parkinson's. And the studies have really just started. Personally, I know my reaction time has benefited, and this nearly 50-year-old has only been playing for 2 weeks now. Now, the reason that I was drawn to the Oculus in particular was because of their focus as a company on movement and fitness. On their official blog, they actually have a Workout of the Week section where they highlight games that have either a full body focus, an arm focus, a leg focus, and so on. The Oculus Quest 2 also has a movement tracker that helps you keep track of the calories you burn and how long you've been physically active across any of the games or apps in VR. Now, you can also set yourself goals and track your progress over time. Now, by their own admission, the amount of calories burned are roughly estimated through an algorithm that considers your basal metabolic rate, or your BMR, along with your headset and controller movements. Your BMR is calculated based on your age, your weight, your height, and your sex, and I have to say is wildly different from what my Apple Watch estimates that I have burned based on those same variables. But you know what? In the end, who cares? They really should have just simply called them movement points instead of calories and made the goal to hit a certain number or more each day. You know what? In fact, I'm going to write a letter to Oculus right now. I mean, who's with me? But okay, before we start that particular revolution, let's look at some of the games. I've already mentioned Beat Saber, which is still actually my favorite, but there are a bunch of other games that will help you get moving. Action games like Fit XR Dance, Supernatural, Synth Riders, Echo VR, and Pistol Whip. Then there are rock climbing games like The Climb. There are boxing games like Thrill of the Fight and Creed. Mindfulness games like Guided Tai Chi and Trip. There are even games that you can play while you're riding a stationary bike or doing some indoor rowing, like HoloFit. Given that according to Grand View Research, the global virtual reality in gaming market size was valued at $11.6 billion in 2019 and is expected to grow at a compound annual rate of 30.2% from 20 to 2027, we are likely to see more and more fitness-style games coming on the market. But there is a downside as well. Having highlighted the ways that VR can get your body moving, I would be remiss if I didn't also highlight how it basically stopped me from moving my body, well, at all. A very cool feature that the virtual world has is that you can share experiences with friends. Now, one way to do that is to use an app like Big Screen to watch movies and TV shows with friends all over the world. 2 Saturdays in a row, I've watched hockey games with friends in a virtual home theater while chatting and catching up, which was amazingly fun. But unlike watching a hockey game on TV, where you are free to safely move around, stand up, do some floor yoga, and wander off into another room unencumbered, wearing a VR headset really does encourage even an active mover like me to stay put. It took the call of nature to get quite urgent before I was compelled to remove the headset and skedaddle off to the washroom. So, while playing virtual games in a standing position can encourage you to move 100% of your body 1,000% more than playing a traditional video game on the couch, watching a movie, a TV show, or a sporting event while wearing a headset puts a large barrier between you and the free-moving world. So what's my verdict on virtual reality? Well, as far as making your body move more often in more and more interesting ways and having a blast while doing it, virtual reality really does make it fun and immersive. Time flies when I strap on the goggles, and I often have to take the headset off or put the controllers down because I'm getting uncomfortably sweaty. And while this is all good, it does nothing to support my main goal as a fitness leader, which is to turn all of you into lifelong movers. The problems I have with segregating our movement practice specifically to a gym, a studio, a piece of equipment, a time of day, or a particular outfit, or any other type of external motivation, well, it still stands with VR. It's still more important to consider what we do with the remainder of our day. So, while I will keep filling my otherwise alluringly sedentary evenings with a few rounds of swatting some imaginary glowing cubes with futuristic swords, I will still also do my morning routine, walk and ride my bike anywhere I can, reach my specific fitness goals with targeted exercise time, spend my office hours at my dynamic workstation, interrupt my sedentary time with movement snacks, and generally live an active lifestyle. VR is a very fun fitness tool that totally deserves its place alongside all the other shiny and enticing tools that I choose to fill my movement-rich life with. All right, thanks for listening, everybody. And don't forget to tune in next week because I have another special guest on the episode here to talk about range of motion and how we can keep an eye on it so we can keep it up. You won't want to miss that one. And while you're thinking about podcasts to listen to, make sure you check out the podcast called Change Academy. It's a podcast that I started with the nutrition diva, Monica Reinagel, and in each episode, we teach you how to create a healthy mindset, sustainable habits, and a lifestyle that you love. So check that out at changeacademypodcast.com. All right, my name is Brock Armstrong. I'm the Get Fit Guy, asking you, what are you waiting for? Try working out in the virtual world.